Welcome to Wine Road, the wine, when, and where of northern Sonoma County. I'm your host, Marcy Gordon, with Beth Costa, Executive Director of the Wine Road.
Thanks to Ron Rubin, we're able to keep our podcast rolling along. The financial support of River Road Family Vineyards and Winery allows us to keep recording, keep sipping wine, and keep sharing stories with our listeners. Check out their website at riverroadvineyards.com and explore their Chardonnay, as well as a finely crafted Pinot Noir from the Russian River Valley. That's riverroadvineyards.com. And hey, thanks, Ron, for allowing us to make this show happen.
Welcome to episode 244. Today our guest is Bruce Marinace, and he's a tour driver and a tour guide here in our fabulous wine country. And welcome, Bruce. We're so glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
So I met Bruce at Alexander Valley Vineyards. I think they had a grand opening when they did their cave expansion. And there was a lot of people, and we were wandering through, but I seemed to be wandering through next to you a good portion of the time. You just kept saying things that were cracking me up. I got your card, and I've had it sitting on my desk ever since, thinking one of these days I got to get this guy on the show.
And today's the day.
Today's the day. Yeah. So how long have you been doing this in Sonoma County?
8 years. I was a former IT project manager down in Silicon Valley. And then I met my wife in San Francisco, and she said, if you want me, you're moving the wine country. I do, and I did, and now I have 2 kids.
Wow. That's a great story.
That is a great story.
And so then I went to go look for IT positions here in Sonoma County, and guess what? There aren't any.
Yeah, a little different than Silicon Valley. Yeah.
And so what happened was my wife says, look, I've got 10 years as a teacher. You're raising the kids. And I said, all right. And of course, first thing I did, I went to go join the Santa Rosa Mothers Club. And they said no.
Oh my God, this is like the plot to Mr. Mom.
Yeah. And so I said, why not? And he said, well, you're kind of a wolf in a hen house. I said, look, I don't want to date them. I just want to find the latest in diaper changes.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Just there to learn.
Well, we're progressive, not that progressive.
Right.
I said, okay, fine. So I got on the first name basis with the men and women of Home Depot, and I put in hardwood floors and fixed up the house until the kids got old enough to get into elementary school. And then I went looking again for IT, and they said, oh, no, you've been out of it too long. We can't let you in the club. And I said, okay, what am I going to do? And while I was getting very proficient at TiVo, the thumb button, I saw a program called The Getaway with, and their guest was Kyle MacLachlan, and the actor, and he said, listen, I live up in Washington, and when I want to get inspiration, I come down to the Napa Valley. And when I come down to the Napa Valley, I get myself a designated driver.
Oh.
And I said, I can do that. And so I applied, and I drove for a company called Designated Drivers Napa Sonoma and enjoyed it for about 5 years. I went to all the different places in Napa and Sonoma in the client's car. And then I've moved up to private wine drivers, and there we have cars.
Okay.
Anywhere from like a Sprinter Metris up to a Sprinter, the big Sprinter limo with the limo chairs, it holds about 12 people. And so so I've been going to all these unique wineries. And
I hadn't even heard of them. That was called what?
Private wine drivers?
Yeah.
They're located out of Sonoma, right by the lodge in Broadway and Liveroni. And Ryan McGorry is the owner. And so what happens is we get these, I'm not sure how he gets his clients between the hotels and the internet. And so we go to some very small boutique wineries where you meet the the owner or the winemaker.
Right.
And so it's a much more intimate experience and there's nothing wrong with the big guys.
Right.
And when you first come, that's what you should get.
Right. It's a different climate, different feeling.
Experience, yeah. And so here you're one-on-one with a wine educator, and usually the wine educator has, 3 to 6, 10, 18 years worth of experience.
Right.
And when you sit down with them, it's like, wow, I've really gotten the feel of this winery. And of course I want to join the winery.
Yeah.
Of course I want to send the wine home.
You feel like an insider.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
So,
Do you have to get a chauffeur's license, or was any special?
well, you're supposed to have the Class B for the bigger vehicles, and so I don't like to drive that. I like to drive the ones, the Sprinter Metris, which is like a 6 to 8 passenger vehicle.
So it's nimble.
Yes, and so
Nimble.
Well,
All
I
those
mean, those
backcountry roads.
big road.
Yeah.
You want something
Yeah.
that handles.
well, but I also want one with, this has the two seats, the two captain's chairs behind me, and so I get one couple. Sometimes I get two couples,
Right.
sometimes three couples, and so the joy for me is I'm like their long lost uncle.
Yes, of
So,
course.
so they come back and they go, Bruce, I haven't seen you in a while. Show me around. Gosh, and so I take them, on this journey. Now, sometimes, of course, they do the itinerary. Of course, Ryan, my boss, he'll recommend lovely wines and wineries based upon what they're looking for. Because, when you get the bachelorettes, they don't really care about the fine wine. They just want to, please give us the champagne houses.
They want to have fun. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, so I don't really get so many of those, but I usually get the one or two couples that are like, this is my first, second, or third time. And I go, wow, let me part the waters for you, because here there are like 490 wineries in Sonoma.
Right.
There's 550 in Napa. They make auto parts. We make wine, of course. And so I kind of sit there. And of course, the first thing that the Midwestern, because I get a lot of them, Bruce is like, all you're doing is drinking wine? I kind of go, no.
Yeah.
We have beer too. And so they're like, well, what does that mean? And so I said, listen, there's so much more to do here in Sonoma County. And so I try to show them more while they're here with me, because I'm somewhat limited on where I can take them on the first day. But the next time they come back, they're like, we want Bruce, because he's going to take us to other places, the back roads of Sonoma County, which is
more
what I
hidden.
enjoy. Yes,
Yeah. So this like they have a friend in the wine business.
correct.
So have you come. That's a wonderful relationship to create.
Yes, and it's really nice. It's people by the end, because I tell them, listen, in addition to being your driver, I'm also your paparazzi.
Excellent.
So I'm really good with the camera, and of course, if you're under 35, they're always telling you to turn a portrait, which, oh, you want the TikTok version? Okay, great. And so that's what I say. Here's the TikTok. And I try to make it clear to them. I go, look, in addition to being a driver, I'm also your paparazzi, but I have one rule, and I'm very adamant and very strict, and there is no negotiation. And if it's going to be a problem, it's fine. After we get to the first wine, we'll get another driver. But I do not do naked pictures. I will not strip down naked to take pictures of them. Is that going to be a problem?
What a deal breaker.
Yeah.
And so they said, I've had most people say, that's fine, Bruce.
Yeah, no problem.
We don't want to see you naked taking our picture. And I said, okay, great. So as we're clear. But I did have one couple said, so Bruce, you know of a driver who will? And I said, well, I can call and ask.
Yeah.
I'm sure they have
Make a few calls.
They went, oh, so they have a price. And I said,
Everybody does.
Everything's negotiable. Yeah.
I said, no, my price, no. I said, this isn't pretty naked. I said, some guys have a little spare tire. I've got a semi. Some guys.
But you just were at spin class.
Yeah. So, well, I'm trying to lose,
He's trying to get ready for that option.
Yeah.
Some guys have love handles. I got love horns. Some guys have a little 6-pack. I've got a keg. And so there's just way more of me than I want. So I said, look, I'm doing you a favor by not getting naked. Please allow me that.
That's too
We don't need
funny.
that.
Well, it's good to set the ground rules right before you start the trip.
I think it's important.
I love that you have people who come back, return, and try to get you as the same driver. Yeah,
That's high praise.
and people do want to always know what's new.
Sure.
We have listeners that will email me when they're coming, and some of them, they just love Pinot, so where should they go? And I start my little list, but then they'll tell me where they've been. I think, well, my gosh, you've already been to 50 places. So,
it's also
always
hard
come
to-
up with a new inside scoop.
Like he's saying, there's 400 and something wineries here,
Yeah.
500 there. Like, you need someone to navigate this for you.
Yeah,
someone
it's overwhelming.
And especially if you have a preference, like, I'm really interested in maybe some Rhone varietals. You have to have an expert or someone versed in what's available to take you. And there's so much value in that to really get the trip you want.
Right. And with that, I try to make sure that I show them more than just the wineries.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
Because we're so much more than wineries.
we are. We've got the cheese. There's the cheese trail that you can go on. But it's also when they get in, because people often ask, Bruce, have you had anybody get sick in your car?
Oh my gosh, how awful.
And it's like, no. I mean, yes, I've had 2 bachelorettes, but that's another issue.
Yeah.
Usually I kind of sit there when they get in the car with me. The first thing I ask is, hey, what do you guys have for breakfast?
Yeah.
And when they said, Bruce, I'm prepared. I had my orange juice and coffee. I kind of go, no.
You need a base.
Yes, you need a little base. And so that's when I take them to over here, Wildflower Bakery.
I was gonna say, what are your favorites?
Nice.
Yeah.
And so I take them there, or I take them to the Barlow, to Sarmentine, because
I love Sarmentine. Oh,
the best croissants in 3 counties. Quail and Condor is great, don't get me wrong, but authentic French, Sarmentine is it.
I think I've had a croissant there better than I've had in France.
I would agree, because I've been in France,
Yes.
and I've been all over France for a month with my family. And when I came back, I said to Alexandra, the owner of Sarmentine, I said, look, your croissants are really good. Like, they're like way better than France. And she says, yeah, Bruce, yeah, sure. I go, no, really, what's the deal? And she said, well, Bruce, they're now freezing them in France, and, where I make it fresh. And so it's like, it's a night and day difference.
I don't even know where this place is.
It's in the
Sarmentine's?
Barlow. It's
Oh, it's in
right
the
there.
Barlow.
It's where Village Bakery used to be.
Across from Acre Pizza.
Across from
Right,
Acre
okay.
Pizza, like on the main.
You have not taken me there, Marcy.
Oh my! Listen. I don't smoke. Can I say this in mixed company? I don't smoke, but I want a cigarette afterwards.
Yeah.
The almond croissant will.
Oh my God, the almond croissant.
Not the almond chocolate, but just the plain almond.
plain almond croissant is unparalleled.
There's, I go to the original one, the one
Santa Rosa.
in Santa Rosa on Mission and Highway 12. It's a 2-mile walk from my house and that's my reward.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
You live dangerously close.
Yes.
Well, I live about a mile from it too,
yeah,
because I live
pretty
in
close.
Sebastopol.
Okay.
So
So
so it's right in the middle.
yeah, right in there,
Cluster.
the Barlow.
Yeah.
It's like on your tour, you're truly, from the moment they get in the car, taking care of them. You haven't had breakfast, we're going to take care of that. You need a base because it's going to be a big day.
Well, yeah, I mean, your day's going to go downhill if you don't have breakfast.
Well, I tell them for every
Fast.
glass of wine, you must have a
Yeah.
glass of water.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And if you don't, right around 2 o'clock, I'm going to start looking handsome.
yeah.
And my wife's going to object, okay? I make sure I have water in the car, whether it's sparkling water or regular water. And then I make sure that they've had something to eat.
Yeah,
And so
that's great.
So what do you think the people that you're driving around these days, what really is making an impression on them? Is it food pairings at these wineries, or is it certain kinds of tours, or is it more just if they do get the opportunity to sit with a winemaker and owner? What really resonates? I mean, I feel like wineries are really kind of struggling trying to find out what are people looking for these days. And, some wineries really lean heavily into, education. And then people are saying, well, I don't want to feel like I'm in class, and they don't want education. So, what are they wanting? It's a mystery.
Well, I get a mix. I usually get the over 35 crowd, but
Yeah.
I do get them under 35. And when they're under 35, that's the best ones to go to is, when you take them and they're going to get the education.
Yeah.
Right.
However, people don't want to sit for, we do a winery, lunch, and then 2 wineries in the
Yeah,
afternoon.
that's a good day.
3 wineries. Sometimes we do 2 wineries and then lunch,
Right.
which because of timing and especially during the height of harvest and
Right.
crush. A lot of the best experiences that we get are the ones where it's either a beautiful view
Right.
and they get to walk around, like Linmar Estates, for
yeah.
example.
Love Linmar.
Beautiful.
And if Lynn Fritz happens to be there, it's even better.
Because when you're at Linmar, for example, the gardens are just beautiful, and you kind of feel like, okay, this is paradise in Sonoma County. I'm writing a check. I'll move here tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a postcard
Yes.
Yeah.
right there. And then there's places like Iron Horse where you have a beautiful view, but it's very rustic.
Yes.
Okay. And again, that's beautiful in its own right, and especially in the morning when the
Right,
clouds
just
are
little
there.
getting
foggy
up there.
there.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's just beautiful. You come away. But then you go to Robert Young up in Alexander Valley, and I cannot tell you, it's
Oh, the
one.
Scion House.
Yes.
Yeah.
You sit there and the phenomenal views, and you could take
amazing.
it with your back to the Alexander Valley.
Right.
You could take it while they're facing, and you've got this view. And I thought it was the best view,
It is spectacular.
but I was wrong. I went to Stone Street.
Oh, yeah.
Now, there's Stone Street across on Highway 128. Beautiful, and they used to have sunflowers, and it's awesome. And I thought, okay, this is looking the other way, looking east. This is beautiful. No. Stone Street, the barn is what
Oh,
you've
yeah.
got to ask for.
Right.
And that's up the hill from Skipstone Winery.
Way up the hill.
Yes, from Skipstone Winery. And I thought Skipstone was the best place because they're building a cave and they've got this house that's like, it's an Airbnb house. And that house is like $8,000 a night because it's like 5 bedrooms.
Oh, my gosh.
But
Yeah.
but you just want to go just to walk around the house because I mean they've got this stone sink, which is this big rock, and they've carved out the sink out of it. And you're like, this is phenomenal.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who does this? You
Yeah.
know? However, I thought Skipstone was the best. And then I went to Stone Street, the barn, and you're up 1,800 to 2,200 feet up, and you're looking on out and kind of go, I'm looking down on Robert Young.
Yeah.
And Robert Young is awesome.
Yeah.
There is not a great experience when you're at Robert Young, every wine educator there is just phenomenal.
Yes.
So you asked me about experiences, or you asked me about what are people looking for. Some are looking for that kind of experience.
Yeah.
Some don't know what they're looking for until it's right in front
Yeah.
of them.
You
Correct.
can't imagine it.
And then they're just
And
Struck.
typically with the wineries that Ryan at Private Wine Drivers and the ones that we go to, at the end of the day, I ask them which one was the best. And I invariably get, Bruce, they were all good, but they were all good for different
Yeah.
reasons.
Right.
And I go, yeah, but which one was better? And they kind of go, no.
I'm
I said, so now when you get in the car and say, Bruce, what's the best winery? You've been doing this for 8
Yeah.
years. What's the best winery? I go, for what?
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah.
And then when they come away with these experiences, they're like, oh, can you do that again? I said, I could do it 3 to 5 places in every wine region
and never
Yeah.
repeat.
and,
Right.
and never repeat, because that's how,
Yeah.
when you do this for 8 years, you get around in a good way.
Yeah. He gets,
Yeah.
saw his name on the bathroom wall.
Yeah,
He really
that's
gets
how
around.
she found you. It was that poster in the post office.
Yes, I'm wanted. Yes,
Wanted
that's
in 3 valleys.
there you go.
So how do you do your own research? How do you stay on top of what's new and what's happening? I mean, you must have your finger on the pulse of what's going on in the industry as well.
Yes, to a certain extent. Well, I get from other wineries that I go to.
Yeah, that's really a great way.
Because when you get to one winery, they're like, oh, well, if you like this, then you got to go over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's helpful.
I get that a lot. And then during the off season, a lot of the wineries they'll have like a driver appreciation event.
Right, of course, like open houses to avail you to what they're
Like
doing.
an ATCA on 128 right by,
Oh, ACTA.
ACTA, yeah.
you
Kind of across from Alexander Valley.
and
Used to be
Silver
White Oak.
Vineyards.
Yes, right by Silver Oak, Alexander Valley. And you go in there and you kind of go, okay, this used to be White Oak. Now it's this. And my goodness, what a nice little courtyard experience. And you sit out there and you kind of go, oh, this is even family friendly type of thing, because they had like a bean bag or they had something
Yeah.
going on that you kind of go, oh, I like this.
And then the Pinot is beyond.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just come away with like, oh my goodness, this is just a little slice of heaven here in the middle. And it's like, this is just right off the road.
Yeah.
And then you go a little
It's just right there.
Yeah. And you go a little further and you find, oh, there's this Spire property out there, and a Noka, and a Coda.
Anaconda, yes.
Anaconda.
Well, I come to find out while I'm there that house is where they filmed the Bartles and James commercials.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
In the 1970s.
Yeah.
And you're like, and people my age, I'm in that third phase of puberty. I'm over 60. And so they're like, oh, yeah, I remember that commercial.
Yeah.
And kind of go, that's the house. And so then they want to go.
Yeah, that was Fieldstone to begin with.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just pervasive.
Pervasive,
Yeah,
correct. I get
you
around.
just learn and learn
get
and
around.
learn. And,
In a good way.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up. I find that I think people think that or assume, like Marcy and I both would know all these wineries and get out all the time. It's like, no, I have a desk job. It's rare. I go, like I met you at the Alexander Valley because they had a special evening opening for their cave. I mean, that's the way I get to hear about new places. It's the same way. You have to get out there. And I'm always surprised. And I always think, oh my gosh, I wish I could do this more.
Well, take a wine tour because I can.
But like you said, it's nice to have a mix of all those experiences. You want the big wow.
Yeah, I think you definitely need a mix.
Mansion experience,
Right.
and then you want the small curated experience. Yeah. And I think that's what makes it special, and it just also showcases all the range here.
That's what I try to do when I'm working on an itinerary for someone. Nobody wants 3 food pairings. I mean, you don't need that. So you definitely want a variety and they're really small and then they're really elegant and then a seated tasting. But yeah, a nice variety of things. I also think it's so important for people to have a driver to really enjoy the whole experience so that they're not just arguing in the car about directions and feeling like they're, like my husband and I can't do that. I mean, I would be pointing this direction. He'd be wanting to go another, half a mile. Then we'd have to make a U-turn. And by then I really wouldn't care if we found the winery or not.
Correct.
You want to relax and enjoy it and leave that to somebody else.
And that's what I do. And I tell them when they get in the car, I said, guys, you got an option with me. I make it real easy. Shut up and drive.
Yeah.
Give me the Uber experience. Just
Right.
take me to the wineries. I
Right.
know where I want to go. And it's like, oh, okay, that's
I can
great.
do that.
Or, listen, I'm a certified tour director for the San Francisco
help
Bay
you.
Area. You might want to know what you're looking at. And so they're like, we'll take option 2, please.
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit of narrative never hurts.
Yeah, I
Right.
just love that. I totally love
It
that.
deepens the experience.
Right.
And as we're driving and we're going down 116, there's Furthermore. Listen, Furthermore, the beautiful picnic experience. You want to go there. And they're like, Bruce, are we going there? No. We're going to go to,
We're going further than Furthermore.
That's right. But the next time you come, you'll then have a better appreciation because sometimes they sit there, people make their itinerary and they're like, okay, we're staying at the lodge in Sonoma and we want to go to Robert Young.
Yes, right.
you
That'll
go,
take an hour,
No, you
10 minutes.
I said, that is a lot of windshield time. I'm a pleasant guy, but,
Right.
but at the end, it's
Lot
like,
of driving.
Bruce, where's the off switch?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, it's just a lot of windshield time. And so you kind of go, no, let us do the planning for you. And that's what Ryan and private wine drivers, they're like, look, we're going to give you 15, 20 minutes at most. Most tastings are 60 to 90 minutes.
Right.
So you do 10 o'clock. Okay, that's going to go to 11:30. Great. We got 15, 20 minutes to get to the restaurant or get to the next winery. So this way you have a nice mix of us, but not too much.
Right. Yeah, they want to enjoy the winery experience and not
It's
the
not-
driving experience.
Right. Because while they're happy that they're not driving, they also want to
Get to the next thing.
Correct. They want to be there.
Right. Yeah, I've had lots of people who make those kinds of arrangements where they're at the end of Dry Creek 1 minute and the next one is at the end of Russian River. I'm like, yeah, that's not a good plan.
Yeah, you have to think logistically in terms of where everything is.
Yeah.
And then let it unfold. It's nice to have someone, like the one thing about press trips, even though they're chaotic, is you're just
sitting there in the
you're
car.
there and you're taken to where you're going to go and you don't have to think about it.
We've tried to put that on our wine road map. At the bottom, we have a printed wine road map, and at the bottom of it, we have mileage that we thought, at some point, I just had so many people making plans that were so far apart. So we thought maybe a key on
It
the
looks
map
so
would help
close
them.
on the map.
That it's like, from Cloverdale to Rohnert Park or from Santa Rosa to Sebastopol. We put the mileage to all the different towns to give people look at this and think
Give
about
them a
that.
little gauge, a little
Little
rule
gauge.
of thumb. Yeah.
That and when they plan it, they should also plan, where to stop and eat.
Yeah, you have to eat. Yeah.
Lo and behold, or
That's a nice spot to pick.
well, you're right off the square.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
easy.
you're right there.
And the food there, everybody I take there comes away like, oh my God, Bruce. Now, you could say maybe they're from the Midwest and their palate isn't as, but it's like everybody comes out, they go, look, you can have whatever you want. You got big plates and little plates. And yeah, they can get you out in 45 minutes, but it's like, no, I really want to give you the hour, to really sit back and
enjoy it.
And they come back and they say, the next time we want to eat there again. That's how nice
It sounds like you're pacing your tours just right. You don't want to be rushing anywhere, but
No.
they need to eat. They need to feel relaxed. They need to feel like it's all coming together, but they don't have to be in charge of
and you
making
can't
it happen.
see it all. That's just the
Yeah.
reality. So instead of speeding through it and really not enjoying it, you're better off to just take it in a little bite at a time and enjoy it that way. And talking of lo and behold, when my daughter comes home to visit, she'll in a week, she'll be home for a week and she'll get there at least twice.
Yeah, I mean, that's how good that place is. And of course, now you got Quail and Condor, the new
one,
which I haven't been to yet. I've been to the old one, but one of the
looks amazing.
I took my wife there during, it's like, honey, she's like, hey, it's a Saturday, you're not working.
Let's do something.
What a rarity.
Yeah.
So I took it to the old one, and I'm there. And one of my fellow, private wine drivers, Santiago, he's there with a group. And I go, dude, what are you doing here? And he says, Bruce, this is because of you.
Yeah.
I go, because of me? What did I do? And she says, well, you take your clients there. I'm taking my clients there. And so that's what it's very, very nice. And then when I met them, I said, hey, you got Santiago. And he goes, oh, yeah, he's great. He takes us to all these different places. I said, right on.
Yeah. Well, a tour with your insider guide, you're going to the hot spots, but
Right.
the undiscovered spots, but you're getting the best of the best. And that's
Absolutely.
that's the value in a guide.
Right.
that's
But I can tell you more often than not, after they've gone, private wine drivers, they come back again. And Ryan says, do you want Bruce again? They go, absolutely. And where next are we going to go? And Ryan will lay out a nice itinerary. And the nice thing is sometimes he leaves a little extra time between, like for lunch, it's like, I'm going to give you an hour and a half for lunch and still eat it lo and behold.
Yeah.
And then I'll say, okay, guys, we got a little extra time. Let's walk a little
Walk
bit.
around the
Say,
square.
check her out
Yeah.
the plaza or whatever.
And then
yeah.
I take them to I go, well, this is Iggy's, or here's Angela's. And they go, well, which is better? Angela's or Noble Folk? And I kind of said, no, that's not the right question
That's
to
not
ask.
the question.
The question is which do I have first? Or are we going to come back from Robert Young and come on back and try Noble Folk on the way back home? Yes,
Good
sure.
idea.
Because I want them to experience Sonoma County beyond just the wine.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what I always tell people. You can't, it's not just wine.
Well, it's beer too,
Yeah.
You take them to Russian River
Yeah, we're going
Brewing
to Russian
Company.
River Brewing. Yeah.
In Windsor,
It's a
the
favorite.
$30 million facility,
Yeah.
and they have one of the best burgers in town.
The fish tacos are also amazing there.
Correct.
Which is strange, but they are amazing there.
What's great about taking a tour, and I often do this when I'm traveling, is you get ideas for the rest of your visit.
Yeah.
You're getting a personal view, and you're getting taken around. So, I'll go back there, I'll go back here, or get other ideas, because especially when you're new in a place and you don't know where to go, booking a day, usually the first day or second day of a guide, is the best bet for the rest of your trip as well.
Exactly. And I had 3 couples from North Carolina. They came on out, and Ryan booked a day because they said, look, we're out here for 3-4 days. It's my wife's birthday. She turned 40. She runs a coffee house back in Carolina. And he says, all right, I'll book 2 days for you. Well, on the first day, they're with me. And I go, what are you guys going to do tomorrow? And they go, well, we're not sure. I go, well, listen, there's Armstrong Redwoods. You got to get out to the coast. You got to do this. And then you should do this. I'll give you a little paperwork. I'll send you a text on where to drive.
Right.
And so this way you know where to go. And they're like, no, Bruce. You're driving.
We're going to
We're
hire
going
you
with
again.
you.
Yeah.
And so I give them a day of wine. We get a day in Sonoma, like the coast, so they get to dry out, so to speak. And then we have another day in Sonoma. And then they're kind of going, is there more? And I said, of course there is.
Is there more?
And they were staying at the old Robert Ashe, the resort there. Now it's called Villa Rosa.
But now it's called Villa Rosa.
So I said, look, I'm going to pick you up early. And they kind of go, what do you have in mind? I said, right across the highway is at Luther Burbank is the farmer's market.
Oh, yeah, that's
How brilliant.
Marcy always brings up the farmers markets.
Yes.
So I brought him into the farmer's
There's
market.
nothing like a California farmer's
It's
market.
amazing.
Right,
Yeah.
and it's like, look, I don't want you to buy anything. I just want you to look at. Now, of course, they're going to buy something.
gonna buy.
I take them over to like Advid Coffee because the wife
yeah.
likes coffee because
Yeah,
she runs a
coffee
coffee
shop.
and she's like, look at those machines. I said, guys, we're just going to go in here for the coffee. Now we're going to go down here to Sarmentine and go have some croissants. And they're going to go, are we ever going to drink wine? And I said, I promise. And so, but they were like, this is awesome because you took us to all these little places, and we would never ever know to go.
Right.
And I said, what?
You could even do a curated coffee tour.
Correct.
Because
Oh,
we have
yeah.
so many amazing coffee places and roasters. And just like in Sebastopol alone, there must be, 12 different really, true identity coffee places.
Locally owned. Yeah.
Well, there, I gave you something to think about. Coffee tours and cheese and coffee and croissants.
Yes,
beer,
because
and
that's
beer.
what I need for them to have just a little bit of food before
Yeah.
they have
Yeah.
that wine, and I need to make sure. So yes.
It was just great to throw in all the other things.
That's
a
smart
real
to go to the
experience.
farmer's market because it's so unique.
Right.
Like the Sunday Sebastopol farmer's market is like nowhere else.
Correct.
It's amazing.
And I said, look, it's not better than your hometown. It's just different.
Different.
Listen, you go to the Napa Farmers Market, and they have Japanese popcorn there.
Oh, yeah.
The package that you're
Yeah.
like, well,
Okay, I came here for that. Right. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so do you see yourself just doing this 20 years from now? Because you love it? Or you're like, yeah, okay.
No, I love it. I really enjoy it.
Yeah. It's all different people.
Correct. My mother-in-law said to me, he says, I don't know how good you were as an IT project manager. I got my project management professional certification, and I worked for a couple of little companies, HP, Intuit,
Yeah,
Lucent,
just little ones.
and some startups, Healthy On, which later became WebMD. And so
Lord.
I appreciate the process and the project management. And I said, I apply that to here. I pick you up, I show you a good time, and I bring you back home safely. And I save you about $14,000 in DMV court costs
Oh, yeah.
from getting a DUI. And so do I like it? I love it because I get new people every single time. They have...
And if people are in a good mood,
Yes.
you're of happy people
Yeah, they're on
for the most
vacation.
part. So what's the length of day? Is it like an 8-hour tour or?
Yeah, it's about because you figure
You pick 'em up and-
you pick them up between 9 and 9:30. Sometimes as early as 8:45, and the first winery's at 10 to 11:30. Then you do lunch from 12 until 1:30, and then you have a winery at 2. That takes you to 3:30, and then you have your last winery right around 4.
So it's a full day.
Yeah, it's a full day, and then they come back, and then they're like, look, you guys want to take a nap for a while? I'll pick you up and take you to dinner. Or some of them are like, no, we're still going. Okay, let's go to the Matson, go upstairs, have a few drinks, and then they go, okay, great. Or, that kind
It's
of
a
thing.
long day.
Yeah, it is a long day, but they've gotten great
But
pictures.
a great value.
Yes, because we don't charge them for pictures,
Yeah, they're good.
but the pictures that I take, they come away with, wow, most of their pictures are arm's
Well,
length.
yes, yeah, exactly.
That's all mine are.
Yeah.
And I have a short arm.
A short arm, yeah.
Right. And so for me to get everybody, I said, look, these pictures are good enough that they'll either be a screensaver on
Yeah,
your
be
computer
Yeah.
frameable.
or they'll be on your mantle in the fireplace
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
they'll be the Christmas card this year. And they're
Right.
like, great idea.
You
Yeah.
must get a lot of Christmas cards.
Well, no. I don't give out my address, but
Well,
I've gotten
maybe in
texts.
care of the
yes,
of the
yes.
tour company.
But yeah, no, Ryan will pass anything on.
So he curates the experience pretty
Usually.
much based on their input.
Correct.
And so
Initially,
you have
yeah.
an appointment when you get to these places.
On day one, yes,
Yeah.
he does. And then sometimes on day 2, they want to drive on their own. And I sit there and go, you can do that. or I can take you to San Francisco, or I can take you to the Sonoma Coast. I said, are you guys old enough to have seen the birds? And they go, the birds? Yeah, Alfred Hitchcock. Well, let me take you over here. And they're like, oh, my goodness. And so, I'll drive them around and do that on day 2.
And you do go as far as the city, San Francisco, driving them
Oh,
around?
yeah. We've picked up people from the city, usually at the Fairmont or, somewhere on Nob Hill. We'll do that, and we'll pick them on up. And then we have to stop at like Vianza, whatever the closest winery we can, Gloria Ferrera on that side. But then on this side, I'll do a stop. Of course, I'll do the just over the Golden Gate Bridge. I'll do that picture there. Right. Almost invariably stop it.
And they all want to go to In-N-Out.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. I thought that was just my kids.
Yeah, but I try to. There's now Sarmentine in Petaluma. Beautiful
So
shop.
do you specialize mostly in
Pastries?
northern Sonoma? Yes, I have an advanced
He's
degree.
a croissant
I have an
expert.
advanced degree in pastries.
He's a judge. He's a croissant judge.
Oh, no. I couldn't.
But we have
Yes.
such richness here. I mean, our food and the bounty we have is just unparalleled. It's hard not to be excited about it.
Yes, and between Heather Irwin and the restaurant reviews,
She does a great job.
She does a phenomenal job. And it comes out. I mean, I subscribe to the
You stay on the beat with her. You know what's coming and
the
what's
Bite Club and things that come down the pipe, and because the restaurants here are just phenomenal.
At every level. I mean, like there's great, really affordable, great Mexican restaurants. I mean, you can just pick what you are interested in. Yeah.
My family, we did a month in France, and my kids said to me, Dad, I'm ready to go home. And I go, because you're tired of France and this beautiful countryside and what you're saying. And he says, no, it's the food. And I go, because you feel like you've had all the French food there is? She's like, no, I miss Sonoma County food. You mean home cooking? You miss No, I miss, Super Duper Burger. I miss, Acme Burger. I miss the food of Sonoma County. I looked at my wife and I said, well, you've spoiled our kids.
Oh, my God, that is so funny.
Well, at least they're spoiled on Sonoma County.
Yeah.
That's a good spoilage.
Yes. So, it's fun.
Oh, my gosh.
Awesome. What's an enviable job. I admire, it sounds like what a good life. It's more fun than IT.
Yes. Yes. I don't have to deal with
less problems.
Yes.
Well, I see everybody's upset about something. Whereas it is people that are on their vacation. And for some people, it's a regular treat. And for others, it's just a bucket list. I mean,
once in a lifetime moment. You're part of their most fun memories.
Yeah, to be a part of that is cool.
Every once in a while, they want me in their picture. But, but usually...
I'm sure they pretty much all do. By the end of the day, they have to have at least a picture with you. Yes, for sure.
I said, well, here's your throwaway picture. I'll be here with it. And so arm's length, or sometimes the wine educator will take it. But yes.
How fun. Okay, and so how do people get a hold of you?
They yell real loud. Bruce!
Well, you could ask for me you can call up Ryan, but go to privatewinedrivers.com. Okay. And you could also look on TripAdvisor, and you can Google privatewinedrivers.com. Okay. And you can see, I don't want to brag because my fellow drivers, they have a number of 5-star ratings, but so do I.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
So, but you'll find us on Google. You'll find us on TripAdvisor. And I can tell you, Ryan is a dynamite personality when you talk to him on the phone. He's very responsive. And we have a number of cars so we can handle big groups. We've done bachelorettes, but we've also done after the wedding.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the couples, they said, well, we went to this great wedding and now we have a couple extra days and now we want to do this. And so it's like, yeah. So we do, it's not just weddings, because I got to tell you, I've done my share of anniversary.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
And of course the wineries will make sure, what's the occasion? And they will pull up the stops. So it's kind of nice.
So they have a fleet of vehicles that dovetails to the number of people or whatever the group
different
wants.
size. Yeah.
Yep. Nice.
Okay, so people, you were listening. You know how to track him down and ask for Bruce.
Yes.
I knew this was going to be fun. I had so much fun just, visiting with you at that tour.
Oh, well, thank you.
Lasting impression.
People have fun. It's and I want them to have fun. It's really, I want them to come back and see more of this beautiful area, because it's just, they get a little snippet of just 3 wineries and they're looking around and like, what's this? How do I get and they're like, let me show you.
Yeah.
I feel like, when I talk to people and help them with their tours, I feel the same way. I feel like lots of times they tell me what their plan was, and I'll help them kind of fine-tune it, because I do want it to be a great trip so that when they leave, they can't wait to come back. And if it's too rushed and they didn't really enjoy it, this is going to be a one and done. So you really do want it to be spectacular. So you leave them wanting more so they come back again.
So we'll put in the show notes how to reach privatewinedrivers.com.
I swear I've been doing this 25 years. I've never heard of privatewinedrivers.com.
Well, Ryan's, I think he's been doing it for about at least 10 years. He's worked at a number of wineries, and so he has a lot of experience. And
and so he knows industry and he knows hospitality.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Right.
So on your card, it says Certified Tour Director TMI. What does that mean? Too much information?
ITMI.
Oh, ITMI.
That is the...
my finger was covering the I.
The ITMI is
ITMI.
is the International Tour Management Institute, and they're located in Sausalito, and Ted Bravos runs the International Tour Management Institute, ITMI, and it's essentially, and he quoted me, and now it's his quote. So I will give him credit, but on the bus, I said, this is project management on wheels, essentially. And he is a phenomenal, if you think I'm a character, he makes me look like a nun. But he's extremely animated. But Ted Bravos at ITMI and his wife, Joan, they run a tour management. They teach you how to be a certified tour director. Count the people, count the bags.
Right. Yeah.
And you learn
Contingency plans and
Contingency,
emergency and all
yes.
the things to do. Something's closed. There's a roadblock.
And they do trips. Like one time with him, we went out to Donner Pass, and
For a picnic?
No, not for a picnic. Very funny.
Clever, Marcy.
But we did an overnight, and so we did. This is how you count the people, count the bags. It's a lot of fun. Ted, it's like a 2.5-3 week course. I think they have some online, and they only take 1 or 2 Californians per class. They don't want it to be overrun with a bunch of Californians.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And so they try to get people from across the nation, and they're all there on in the wintertime there at this 2 or 3 day event. The last one I went to was in Reno, but Ted and his wife do a phenomenal job of teaching you how to be a tour guide.
How fascinating.
That is interesting.
So-
When I was in college, I was a tour guide at an attraction in Miami. I was a German tour guide, except I really didn't speak German that well.
I was gonna say, I never knew.
I memorized the script in German, and the first day or second day we had like a soccer team come through, and we had this great time, and they're telling all these jokes. And then an hour or two later, had these 2 couples, and I thought, I'm going to tell them one of these jokes. It turned out to be a very off-color joke. They just turned and left. And I'm called into the office like, what did you say to these people? I don't know. The soccer guys sure loved it. I said something really wrong, and I got fired.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it was so funny. But this institute sounds fabulous. Alrighty, so it's been great having you, Bruce. It's so nice to meet you. So much to learn, and we'll put the link to privatewinedrivers.com in the show notes. And I think that's it.
That is it. Anything else for you?
Nope. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
We'll see you on the wine road.
Thanks. Bye-bye.